Hi everyone, this is a video for the week 3, chapter 4 homework. This first one is going to be on exercise 412, which is the first problem you have to do. The other 3 problems already come with a spreadsheet created, so we don't have to worry about doing that. For this one, you can either use a spreadsheet or a Word document. It doesn't matter to me. So the first thing we're asked to do is to find the predetermined overhead. So to do that, we have to take the expected overhead and divide by the machine hours. So in your book, if you look on page 133, it goes through a similar problem to what you're asked to do for homework. So on that page, it tells us that our expected overhead is $350,000. And the machine hours, in this case, the expected activity is 50,000. So our predetermined overhead is going to be 350,000 divided by 50,000. So the predetermined overhead is $7 per hour. So it's the same principle for your homework assignment. The second question on your homework asks you to figure out the overhead variance. So to do that, you're going to have to take your applied overhead, and that is going to be the actual predetermined overhead. So it's going to be, in this case, the $7 an hour times the actual number of hours used. And that will be divided by you will subtract the actual overhead. A good example of this would be on pages 135 to 136. But for the purpose that we're doing it, I'm going to just come up with some numbers. So let's say the estimated is $50,000. So we're going to take our $7 an hour, and in our case, we're going to say that it was, let's say, $60,000. So that's what we have. And then that will be subtracted by, let's say, our actual overhead was, let's say it was actually $200,000. So let's take our 7 divided by 60,000, times 60,000, gives us 420,000. And we say we only used 200,000 for our overhead, so we're going to subtract the 200,000. Gives us an overhead variance of 220,000. In reality, it is not going to be anywhere near that high. So you would do the same principle for your homework. The third part is you have to complete a journal entry. So for this one, again, on pages 135, 136, it goes over the journal. But what the journal entry should look like, it's going to be overhead control, and then you're going to have cost of goods sold. And the amount that you will use for these is actually the overhead variance. So it's a straight journal entry. Number 4 is a little bit trickier. You're going to actually have to figure out more information. So for this one, again, we're going to use pages 135 to 136. So we need to figure out our how much percentages each category is divided to. So we have our work in process. So we have our work in process inventory. We have our finished goods inventory. And these are coming right out of the book. There's no calculations involved at this point. Then we have cost of goods sold. So we know the amounts because the book tells us the actual amounts. So in this case, work in process inventory is $70,000. Okay, so we're going to take the information directly from the textbook. We're told the finished goods inventory is $105,000 and the cost of goods sold is $175,000. And then we're going to have to total. So that gives us a total of $350,000. Now we have to find the percentages. You're also going to have to do this part for your homework as well. So to find the percentage, we're going to have to take our $70,000 divided by the $350,000, which gives us 20%. And we're going to do the same thing with the finished goods inventory and the cost of goods sold. So that's 30%. And by default, this should be 50%, but I'm going to double check the math just in case. 175,000 divided by 350,000 gives us 50%. Now we can do the journal entry that goes with it using our percentages. So we're going to be having the overhead control, and this amount right here is going to be the same from above. It's going to be our 220,000 in this case. So it's going to be 220,000. And then we're going to be crediting the ones we've already worked on, where we found the percentages for the work in process, the finished goods, and the cost of goods sold. So to figure out the amounts we're going to be crediting, we're going to take our 220,000 times 20%, gives us 44,000. Then we're going to do the same thing with finished goods. We're going to take the 220,000 times 30%, gives us 66,000. And then we are going to take our 220,000 times 50%, gives us 110,000. And that is all you have to do for this problem. If you have any questions on this problem or how I did any of the calculations, please let me know, and I hope you have a great day.